Great. Thank you, Stephanie, and welcome everybody. We're really excited about working with you today, and thank you so much for being here. We are here to discuss PFAS and residuals that are land applied in Massachusetts. And as invited stakeholders and members of the public, you bring a wide range of perspectives and knowledge, which DEP values, and which will help us or will help to inform our process. So we really appreciate that you're sharing your time and your expertise with us. Stephanie has given us an overview of what the department is doing on PFAS, and here's what DEP is doing related to PFAS and residuals. So we recently notified those entities that have received approval to land apply the residuals that they must also analyze their residuals quarterly for PFAS concentrations. And we know that's a new requirement. We've been researching available data and methodologies from other states. We've been meeting with these states to learn from them. You'll hear today in the presentation about how we are looking at PFAS in soil from Vermont. We are looking at data on PFAS in residuals from New Hampshire. We're looking at a methodology for overlaying the PFAS in residuals onto the soils that was developed by Maine. So we are definitely drawing in available information. And today kicks off our stakeholder process. This is the first of 3 meetings, and we'll also be planning a meeting for December, and later in January. The purpose of today's meeting is to, first of all, share with you the information and approaches that we've been considering. We want to take you through the data sets and the methodologies that we're considering as we start to think about managing residuals and PFAS. We also want to learn from you about additional information related to residuals and PFAS. What are we missing? Are there other studies or data sets, models, methodologies that MassDEP should consider and that this process would benefit from? We want to gain insight from you. So you represent the organizations and the people who will be most affected by the outcomes of this process. And so we want to hear from you. We want your advice on development of a MassDEP PFAS strategy for residuals. What should it include? What resources are needed to support it? This really leads me to the most important part of my message, which is we want to learn from you and we want to make sure that you're heard. We want to hear from you. We appreciate that you're committing your time and your resources to this issue and to MassDEP's process. You are the subject matter experts. You and your organizations will be most affected by any actions that MassDEP takes in addressing PFAS and residuals, and we are looking forward to hearing from you. We want to know what we should be considering as we develop our approach to addressing PFAS and residuals. We want to know what your concerns are with respect to PFAS and residuals. We want to know what your concerns are relative to residuals management. What options does the industry have for disposal of residuals? And I do want to note that MassDEP is committed to participating in the New England Interstate Water Pollution Control Commission's proposed regional sludge generation estimate project. This project recognizes that there is a need for more reliable and cost-effective sludge management alternatives for the Northeast region. The first step is working through these issues and developing recommended actions so that we get a clear picture of the quantity and characteristics of sludge being produced across New England and New York. But ultimately, we hope it will be helpful in helping us think about future sludge disposal in the region. We also want to know from you what we are missing. What else should we be considering? With your input, we also hope to identify areas where support is needed as we develop and implement a PFAS and residual strategy. So our commitment to you is that We will listen. We intend to stay in touch. I mentioned we expect to have 2 more stakeholder meetings. We have also an email address on many of the slides where you can correspond with us. I will put my email address directly into the chat so that you have it and you can reach out directly to us. We also intend to stay open-minded. So thanks very much for your attendance today, and we look forward to hearing from you during the discussion at the end of this meeting. So now I'll turn it over to the next presenter, who I think is Leldon.